Hey everybody, this is @now_world_order from Twitter, and this is going to be a video for the results of TNA Slammiversary 2014. It just finished. This is going to be my immediate reactions and my immediate results on the show. I'm wearing the same thing as I was earlier. Made the prediction video earlier today. I changed the hat so that it'd be easier for you to differentiate the two videos. But that all being said, if you want to check out my prediction video for this show, it will be in a link just down below here on this YouTube page. Please subscribe to this channel. Please follow me on Twitter at NOW_WORLD_ORDER, just like on this YouTube channel. And I'm going to go ahead and plug, I got friends named Dave and Andrew, and I was actually earlier tonight doing their Think Deep podcast. I put all the episodes that I'm a guest on my YouTube channel too, so definitely check those out on my channel and check out their channel as well. Their Think Deep podcast is awesome. I love being a guest, and by the time you guys see this, that video will most likely be up. It's going to be going up tomorrow early, like before the afternoon, so keep your eye out for that and subscribe to that channel too. Those guys are awesome over there at Think Deep. I'm going to go ahead and get right into Slammiversary 2015. It opened up with a ladder match for the X Division Championship between Manic, Tigre Uno, Crazy Steve, Sonata, Eddie Edwards, and Davey Richards. My prediction to win the match was Sonata, and I was correct with that. It was a good ladder match. You know, it wasn't the greatest, but it had its moments for sure. The ending was kind of weak in my opinion. Not necessarily the moves, but just kind of how it ended. And man, I don't know about y'all, but Sonata looked kind of lost in there to me. He hit that moonsault onto the ladder, onto, I believe it was Crazy Steve. But there was also a point in the match where Crazy Steve was up there for what seemed like forever, trying to grab the championship, and you could tell Sonata was supposed to go in and get him off the ladder or break up, the attempt or whatever. And I feel like he took way too long to get there. I was like, this guy's gonna have to pull the championship off at some point here without, to save some sort of credibility. But that all being said, my pick was Sonata. I felt like there was no other direction they could really go with this. Tigre Uno looked great in the match. Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards are always going to be good in the ring. And I'm glad that neither of them won the championship, though, because I do want to see more out of the Wolves as a tag team. So, once again, I picked Sonata, and the winner was Sonata to retain the X Division Championship. Next, we had Bobby Lashley taking on Samoa Joe. My pick was Lashley. Lashley did win the match after a spear, when the ref, it was like a spot where Samoa Joe was trying to avoid, a collision with the ref, turned around right into a spear by Bobby Lashley. 1, 2, 3, and that was it. I figured of the people I could potentially be in the main event, I figured Lashley was going to win this match and go on to be in the triple threat championship match at the end of the show. I was right about that, and it was pretty obvious in my opinion, mainly because if MVP wasn't going to be in the match, at least one of his guys was. I thought it was going to be both, but we'll see how that went during the show. But if one of the two, if it was going to be Lashley or King, I feel like Lashley is going to be their pick because they view him as a bigger star. So once again, Lashley wins the match over Samoa Joe and goes to the main event at the end of the night. Next we had Willow taking on Magnus. I picked Willow to win the match. Magnus wound up winning. Abyss was in the corner of Willow, and Bram was in the corner of Magnus. Magnus won with, I don't know what his move's called, but it's like a backdrop turned into a rock bottom. It is what it is. Not overly impressive. The match wasn't overly impressive. I felt like the ending came kind of out of nowhere. But I didn't have high expectations for it either, so it was just kind of there, and Magnus beat Jeff Hardy, a.k.a. Willow. After that, we had Kurt Angle coming out. He announced who was going to be the next inductee into the TNA Hall of Fame. My guesses earlier today on my prediction video were AJ Styles, Jeff Jarrett, Samoa Joe, Storm, Rude, Abyss, Young, or Hardy. My thought was it was going to be Jeff Hardy. Mainly, it was funny because my reasoning was he's not a TNA original, and they keep putting in people that aren't TNA originals for some reason into their own Hall of Fame. So I was somewhat right about this. Team 3D was the choice. Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley, or Bully Ray and Brother Devon, whatever they call him. I can't really disagree with the decision, other than all the guys I listed in my video I think are probably more deserving based on their merit within TNA wrestling, and not being, aside from Jeff Jarrett, AJ, Joe, Storm, Rude, Young, and Abyss are all TNA homegrown talent. And if you're going to have a TNA Hall of Fame, why are you not putting in people that, when someone says the Dudley Boys or Team 3D even, I bet you that the majority of people, even if they're just casual wrestling fans, are going to think of the WWE. But if you were to say, hey, did you know AJ Styles is? Yeah, he's a wrestler, right? Yeah, but he's not. They're not going to say WWE because he's never wrestled for the WWE. At least not for real. He's had enhancement matches, but so that's that. The TNA Hall of Fame, in my opinion, is still a joke, and all the people in the TNA Hall of Fame are going to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Even Sting, who's never wrestled a match in the WWE, I'm sure he will at some point in his life, but even if he doesn't, I bet you anything they still induct him into that Hall of Fame. That's all I'll say about that. Next, we had Austin Aries versus Kenny King. I picked Kenny King to win the match. Austin Aries won with a top rope brainbuster. That was pretty sweet. And I love that Aries won this. In my prediction video, I also said, I thought King was going to win because I figured they would put Lashley and King in that steel cage match at the end of the night with Eric Young. But I would have much rather seen Aries win the match and be in that main event, and that's what we got. Can't say anything bad about this one. It was a solid match. Both guys bring it. Kenny King has come a long way since Tough Enough, huh? Yeah. That was a long time ago, and he had a good career in Ring of Honor. And Austin Aries, if you're a wrestling fan, you know how good he is. So Austin Aries with the win there. After that, we had it was an extra match. It was Ross and Marshall Von Erich versus Jesse Goddard and DJ Zema Ion. Kevin Von Erich was out there too. It was a DQ win by the Von Erichs. Kevin got in the ring afterwards and did the claw, and the people went pretty nuts for that. That was pretty cool to see. Got a "You Still Got It" chant, which was kind of funny. But good for them. I would imagine we're going to see more of the Von Erichs in TNA if they brought him in for this. And, DJ Zema Ion is good in the ring. I'll give him that. But I have no time for Jesse Goddard personally. It was a DQ because of a chair shot by Goddard in the middle of the match. So that was that. I didn't have a prediction on it because I didn't know it was on the show. Up next, we had the Knockouts Championship, Angelina Love versus Gail Kim. I picked Gail Kim to win the title. Angelina Love won with a roll-up. And I'm not going to say a whole lot about that. I didn't care about the match before it happened. I didn't care about the match while I was watching it. And I don't care about the outcome. But Angelina Love is still the Knockouts champion. Next up, we had the Texas Death Match, which was EC3 versus Bully Ray. This is one that I really, of all the matches, this is the one that I really thought could have gone either way. I picked Ray to win the match, but EC3 won, which I'm completely fine with. The ending was kind of lame. EC3 hit Bully Ray with a kendo stick. He went through two tables that were lined up next to each other. But, and Dixie was late on the tables. The whole thing was kind of based around Ray trying to come through on his promise to put Dixie through a table. I'm okay with EC3 winning. I got the prediction wrong, but that's not a big deal. And I think that, I guess this program's going to continue, which I guess I'm okay with, it's better than most of the stuff going on in TNA now, and I think EC3 has a bright future in wrestling, in the professional wrestling business. So once again, Ethan Carter III beat Bully Ray. After that, we had Cowboy James Storm versus Mr. Anderson. This was a pretty forgettable match. I wasn't too excited for it before it happened. I think James Storm is great. Once again, Mr. Anderson doesn't really do a whole lot for me nowadays. I picked Storm to win the match. I was wrong. Anderson won with a mic check pretty much out of nowhere. There's just a lot of things I have, against Anderson's character. It's not like I dislike the guy as a person. It's just like I think the mic check is a lame finisher. I think that on the microphone he hasn't gotten any better from the time he was in the WWE. He just doesn't do a whole lot for me, and I think James Storm should be the current and the future of this company, but he's losing to Mr. Anderson at a Slammiversary. I'm sure he'll have more time. He's signed to a long contract, but they need to be doing more with James Storm, in my opinion. But once again, James Storm lost the match to Mr. Anderson tonight. And last we had the main event, World Heavyweight Championship Steel Cage match between Eric Young and Austin Aries and Bobby Lashley, who both won those matches earlier in the night to qualify for this. They announced before the match that they took away the stipulation that you could exit the ring to win, which definitely played into the match. Lashley speared his way out of the cage. Eric Young could have climbed over but hit a sweet elbow off the top. I thought that flying elbow was awesome by Eric Young. I chose Eric Young to win the match regardless of who was in it with him, and I was correct on that. He's still the heavyweight champion. He did a double Death Valley driver to Aries and Lashley, which was cool. He had them both up on his shoulders, and he walked halfway across the ring and hit a DVD, which was pretty impressive. I didn't really think he had it in him for his size, so that was impressive. Overall, it's a decent show by TNA. There was a lot on this that I didn't really care about, which is sad, because as a diehard professional wrestling fan, you'd think that companies like this, with the amount of talent that they have, would be able to put on great shows consistently. I'm not saying this was a bad show, but consistently speaking, I don't think TNA has been great lately. And once again, this is coming from somebody who's followed them from their very first show in 2002. And this is a company that I've rallied behind, and I live very close to their headquarters, and I want to see them succeed. I'm okay with Eric Young as the champion for the time being. I don't think there's a better option, but that's kind of the problem. The problem that they don't have this long list of guys that I want to see that badly anymore. It's like every time I see someone like Austin Aries or James Storm, those kind of guys, when I see them wrestle, all I'm thinking is, man, how cool would it be to see, Austin Aries versus Daniel Bryan in the WWE? How awesome would it be, to see John Cena take on Robert Roode? You know what I mean? I'm thinking of how great these guys could be, because I feel like they're wasting their time in this company. And I didn't really feel that way this strongly until I saw guys like AJ Styles, Kazarian, and Daniels just get pretty much thrown away by the company. And I'll be at Ring of Honor Best in the World next week. It's here in Nashville. I'll be attending it live. I'll definitely do a couple videos about that. So keep your eye out for that. I'm really, really looking forward to that show. That's going to be awesome. And it's probably the last time we'll see Kevin Steen outside of the WWE, which is great. I can't wait to see him in the WWE. So yeah, so let me know what y'all think. What do you think about TNA Slammiversary? Feel free to comment here on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter at NOW_WORLD_ORDER at NowWorldOrder. Direct message me there. Send me a regular message there. Doesn't matter. Keep watching the videos. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. And check out the Think Deep podcast too. And check out the one that I'm going to post. I'll post it on my page tomorrow when they post it up. So Once again, thank you for watching. Y'all be safe and take it easy.